I just wanted to take a quick moment and throw a couple of extra properties your way. You may have already thought of this stuff. This isn't anything too, insane or groundbreaking or anything like that, but really more stuff that we've already been over. For instance, if I wanted to change the color of the text or the font of the text that's being used inside my list, how would I do that? Well, once again, simply using properties that we've already been working with all the way along. So I'd go and find my redefined UL and I would throw in font-family. There we go. And then define my font, maybe Geneva, something like that. And perhaps maybe a font size, if I'm so inclined, maybe something like, maybe 14 points, something like this, right? We've been over this a bunch of times. You've seen this in a variety of different scenarios. But what about spacing on the list? This kind of ties into our floating layout that we were discussing earlier. Earlier, you saw that we could use our margin property. So I could go margin-top, for instance, and maybe I'll go 25 pixels, something like this, right? And then I'll save that up and refresh. And what happens is we now get 25 pixels worth of space above our list. Now, why does it show up above the list and not the actual list items? Because I'm not redefining the individual list items. I'm redefining this rectangular object, this rectangular space, if you will. So, if I wanted to increase the amount of space between my bulleted objects, then what I'd have to do is I'd have to go and redefine what it means to be a list item or create a new class rule and manually apply it to every single list item. Okay, so let's go and do that quickly. So I'm just going to scroll up here. I'm going to go and redefine li, something like this, throw in my curly brackets, and then I'm going to go margin bottom, and then maybe I'm going to wind up with something like 5 pixels. I really don't know 100% what I'm going to wind up with, but I'm going to try 5 pixels anyway, and then refresh, and there we go. Now I'm increasing the amount of space between each of my bullet list items, if you will. So maybe I'll increase that to 10 pixels, refresh. There we go, something like that. Maybe I want to push British Columbia further down the page. Well, in that case, what I'd need to do is go and throw a margin bottom onto my UL, onto my redefined unordered list. So I'll go margin-bottom, and then maybe again, 25 pixels, something like that, right? And then refresh. There we go, pushing British Columbia further down the page. So just some neat ideas to bounce off of you. Really, all I'm doing is I'm taking stuff that we've already seen. Fonts are pretty easy. Size is easy. Margin is easy. And simply applying it in a different scenario, a different application for the same CSS properties.